Hi everyone, and welcome to OceanShaker. Today we're at Le Boat, where we're meeting Cheryl Brown, Managing Director at Le Boat, to discover why houseboat vacations have become so popular and whether complete beginners can really captain their own boat. Cheryl, thank you so much for having us. To start, could you tell us a little about Le Boat and what makes this experience different from a traditional vacation?
Well, Lada, thank you for the opportunity of speaking to me. Le Boat is a wonderful business. We are the largest boat rental company in the world, and we offer boating experiences in Europe and Canada to people without boating experience. So our boats, all 950 plus of them, are exclusively built for Le Boat for customers without any boating experience. So very easy to drive, excellent maneuverability with bow and stern thrusters. You can go sort of a full 360 degree, so children can drive our boats almost with a joystick, easier than their parents. So we've built what I would class as a floating condo rather than a houseboat, exclusively for the boats to entice people very easily onto the water and experience the world from the water, which is just beautiful.
Wow, wonderful. And Le Boat has been popular in Europe for many years. I know, like 55 plus, correct? Yes. What originally made houseboat travel so successful there?
It's incredibly successful in Europe. Of course, we've got some amazing UNESCO canals in Europe, and of course we have them in Canada as well. So we've been going for 57 sort of successful years, and we started in the very famous Canal du Midi in France 57 years ago with 16 boats, and actually we brought Le Boat to Canada 9 years ago with 16 boats on the Rideau Canal. So our aim is to pick up the success that we've had in Europe and bring it to North America, which we've started to do on this little part of our exciting journey. But it's a lovely experience and it's a great product, and it's available to everybody, you know, whether you're small groups, whether you're traveling as couples, or whether you're traveling as you know, a single group. We've got boats to suit everybody. So anything in Europe, from budget boats to luxury boats to big boats to small boats, from 2 people to 12 people. So something for everyone.
Amazing. You mentioned that about 10 years ago, Le Boat expanded to Canada. How would you compare the experience in Europe with the experience here in Canada?
It's very similar depending on where you're cruising to. So I'll never forget my first experience of cruising in Canada. We went to the Rideau Canal, and we had the beautiful sort of canals of France, almost from Ottawa down to where we are based in Smith Falls. And then we had sort of the big Rideau and the open waters. And I remember thinking how breathtakingly beautiful it was. So when I talk about the waters in Canada, for me, they are the best of all of our European cruising grounds put together. Absolutely incredible. And our customers absolutely love Canada. A lot of our European customers over the 57 years are now traveling to Canada. It's a lovely new experience. But as we are growing our business in Canada, a lot of our Canadian customers are coming to visit us in Europe. They've started in Canada and now they're coming to Europe. So it's just wonderful.
Sounds like a dream. But I think many people are like me. I'm a bit of a chicken and feel nervous because they've never driven a boat before. So how beginner-friendly is the experience really? How long does it take to learn? And how physically strong do you need to be?
Well, the great news is these boats are built exclusively for us, for people without any experience like you. So we look forward to inviting you on board. We give you a lot of briefings in advance, but when we get you on board, we teach you how to drive the boat, and it's been built for people without experience. So after a good 45-minute demonstration, you know, taking you out on the boat, maybe taking you through your first lock, you know, you'll find that you're very experienced, very fast. And of course, you know, our boats are well bumpered. So if you make the odd mistake as you're going through the lock and you hit the side slightly, you bounce straight off. We send 110,000 customers on the water every year, of which 85% of them are new. We've been doing it a long time. We know what we're doing and everybody's comfortable.
Amazing.
And a lot come back for more.
So just to make sure I understand correctly, you don't need a boating license or any previous boating experience, correct?
Absolutely. And bearing in mind, we only cruise on what we would class as safe cruising ground. So nothing that's tidal. You need to see land from anywhere that you cruise with us. Very easy waterways. So, and of course we're slow. You're traveling at sort of 6 miles per hour. So it's nothing. It's a slow speed. You've got time to think, and you know, these boats are very easy to drive.
Amazing. As a family traveler, I'm curious. What makes this experience special for kids? And are children welcome on board?
Children love being the captains of these boats. You can imagine it's an adventure for children. You know, I remember my daughter growing up, and how often are you ever on holidays and, you know, it's mum, we're a little bit bored now, what are we doing next? The first time we went on a boat holiday as a family, it was wonderful to see her interacting with the boat, loved going through the locks, loved playing her part, desperate to sort of drive the boat. You know, they're their little own captains, so it's great for kids, you know, jumping in the water, having fun, you know, taking maybe a stand-up paddleboard out with them, you know, jumping on a bike. We are the largest bike rental company in Europe as well, because the majority of our boats go out with a number of bikes. And so as a family, you know, you get up one morning, you cycle into the local town as a family. You know, if you're in France, you're waiting for the bakery to open, you smell that fresh,
like
them
dream.
fresh baguettes, you know,
Dream.
your meats, your pastries, your cheese, your wines, you know, that is all part of the experience. And our customers are spending all of their money in the local communities and exploring, or you're cycling to the beach and the kids are jumping in the sea. You know, it's just a real nice adventure.
That sounds incredible. Oh my goodness. You already mentioned biking. What other activities do people enjoy during the trip besides boating?
Probably mention sort of biking is the sort of second choice, you know, being able to sort of jump on a bike and explore the local community, but then everything within the local community. So I guess, you know, using the Midi as an example, if you're cruising the Midi, you know, a must-see is a visit to Carcassonne, you know, which is an amazing, you know, medieval village. Or you're going to the local vineyard and you're experiencing the local wines. You know, wine is incredibly cheap in France, and but it's really, you know, you're eating and enjoying the local communities. And I always say you're seeing the true France or wherever you're travelling with a boat. It's lovely to get into the local communities.
And what about dogs? Canadians really treat their dogs as part of the family, so being able to travel with them is very important. Are dogs welcome on board?
Woof woof, you're going to love us, because yes, we're dead dog friendly. And you know, and that is fantastic, isn't it? You know, you can bring your little dog with you and they have an amazing time as well, and they are more than welcome on board. So yes, loads of our customers travel with us with dogs.
You guys are the best. So, which route would you personally recommend for first-time guests?
First-time guests in Canada or in Europe?
Both.
In both. So for first-time guests in Canada, the Midi is generally the favourite, because it's UNESCO, it has a huge amount of history, and I think if you think about boating in Europe, that's probably the first destination that comes to mind, and it's dead easy because you're on a canal. So that would be my first choice, but there are so many other wonderful places again. So one of my personal favourites is the River Lot, right in the middle of France, and the river is just incredible. And actually it was my first experience where I jumped in the river for the first time in my life, probably in my mid-40s, and it was a wonderful experience. And I just, cruising through the valley with sort of castles and mountains either side, again, just absolutely sort of incredible. And I've got sort of two favourites, when we're travelling on the Rideau Canal, one of my favourite stops is Westport, beautiful village, lovely for sort of trekking, gorgeous vineyard there, the ice cream parlour is one of, when you go into one of them chocolate box towns and you've got the most amazing ice creams, Westport is one of them. And of course, coming to the Trent Severn, again, lovely places, but Bobcaygeon is probably my favourite, lovely sort of quirky shops, and our customers just love it. So many lovely places to go.
You must have so many stories from your guests. Is there one memorable experience that really stayed with you? Maybe something involving first-time boaters that you can share with us?
Well, I've got probably loads and loads. One of my favourites, years ago was an American family, in the Canal du Midi actually, and he just had sort of, huge cartons of what I thought at the time was water. So we were laughing because they were carrying these huge bottle containers, and they had found a vineyard. And I was, oh, you're stocking up on water. And he said to me at the time, water, this wine is as cheap as water. And, and just seeing, so many people come together, families, friends, couples. It's a team building event. Sometimes it's nice to get away from the world, get together, switch off and focus on what's really important in life. And I think Le Boat brings that to you, switch off, enjoy, take it all in.
And one last question. Let's imagine we've taken our first Le Boat trip, fallen in love, and want more. Is there an opportunity to own a Le Boat? Could you tell us about your ownership program?
Yeah, so we sell our vacations to customers all over the world to experience short durations, 1 week, 2 weeks. So we do a number of different sort of durations to sort of suit. But we also have the ownership program. It allows people to buy our boats. We guarantee income. We also guarantee a buyback on the boat after 5 years of 70% of the purchase price, and they also get a number of weeks every year to enjoy any one of our boats all over the world to really experience. So if you look at it as you're buying a boat, you haven't got any of the hassle of owning a boat, the maintenance of a boat, the costs of moorings, docks, etc. We take all of that pain away from you. Guaranteed income, loads of vacation weeks equals an incredible return on investment. So if you love this type of holiday, it's a great investment.
Thank you so much. I really love the idea of slowing down and experiencing travel differently. I think many of our readers will connect with that. It really sounds like such a unique way to travel. And now I want to try everything.
We'll look forward to welcoming them all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. It was wonderful talking with you.
Great.